Hello and welcome to Recapaholic. Today, I'm going to explain a Norwegian dark fantasy film called Troll Hunter. There's spoilers ahead, so take care and proceed with caution. Okay, so we start the movie with three Norwegian friends, Thomas, Johanna, and Kalle in a car. They're students at Volda University College working on a documentary for school about recent bear attacks in the town. Kalle is the cameraman in charge of filming the entire study. They drive to the location where a bear's dead body was found and interview some local hunters. But all the hunters seem to think that the bear tracks are fake. They tell the students that the head of the Norwegian Wildlife Board, Finn Haugen, is hiding something. The hunters also talk about a hunter by the name of Hans, who no one seems to like and they all suspect is up to something. These comments make the students' documentary more interesting, and they decide they should look into this Hans guy. They find out that Hans lives in a local campground and interview his neighbor, who tells them that Hans is out most of the night and never returns until sunrise. The group waits for Hans to return, and when he finally does, they ask if they can accompany him on one of his nighttime adventures. Hans is like, "Nope, you should go." So the students are like, "This is weird," and they notice marks on Hans's car from what looks like it might be a bear attack. And now they're even more determined to find out what Hans is up to. So they wait until nightfall and then follow Hans when he gets in his car that night. They spend the entire night following his car and see him board a ferry the next day. And they get on the ferry too. When they arrive at their destination, they follow him to a hotel. Then late the next night, they see him get into his car and drive away. And again, they follow because they really want to know what Hans is up to. And of course, you do too, right? Unfortunately, they lose him after he goes through a gate that they can't. But then they do go through the gate and into a building where they know Hans is. So they arrive at like this dark, quiet jungle and they get out of the car to look for Hans. The strangely quiet jungle kind of freaks the students out, but they continue their pursuit. A loud screech is heard, a bright light flashes nearby, and the group is all like, "WTF?" And they're thinking of noping out of there when Hans, terrified, rushes up to them and tells them to flee. So, of course they do. Some unknown entity is following them, but the college students have no idea what it is. It captures and injures Thomas, but they eventually all escape in Hans's car. Anyway, as they're driving away, Hans is quiet, but he agrees when the group invites him to join them on a hunt. So Hans tells the students that the entity that followed them earlier is a mythological creature from Scandinavian folklore known as a troll. Trolls live in isolated rocks, mountains, or caves. Hans says they're ugly and kind of slow-witted. Also, they only appear at night because the light transforms them into rocks. Trolls are anti-Christian and can smell the blood of Christians from afar. And Hans finally admits that he's a troll hunter rather than a bear hunter. He has a massive light mounted on his car, which he uses to turn the trolls into stone and kill them. Of course, the students believe every word Hans says because it sounds totally legit. No, I'm kidding. They're like, "No, that's not a thing." But they agree to go with him on an adventure because trolls hold no exclusivity on being slow-witted. So the next night, Hans leads them on a troll hunt. Before leaving, he makes them rub trolls' scent on their body so the trolls can't smell them. Hans carries a flash gun that emits powerful UV rays, and they finally make their way into the jungle. Later, Hans gets a call from someone asking him to collect a troll's blood sample. Hans asks the group to stop walking and plans to get the trolls to come out of hiding. So he goes into the woods alone, because nothing bad ever happens when you're alone in the woods with mythical Christian killers, right? Of course, the uni students aren't buying it. They're like, "This dude's crazy and making up stories." But then a loud growl is heard and the trees begin to tremble. Suddenly, a massive three-headed creature emerges from between them. The group is terrified and begins running towards their car as the troll pursues them. They finally make it to the car, but the troll follows their scent. Apparently, rubbing troll scents on yourself isn't as effective as the made-for-TV commercials make it out to be. Anyway, Hans is prepared for the creature and flashes it with the light mounted on his car, which totally turns it to stone. So the students, Thomas, Johanna, and Kalle, are thrilled with their discovery and assume that they'll be famous overnight as a result of the camera footage. Hans, on the other hand, is furious at the group for not informing him that they're Christians. That's why the troll could smell them and follow them. However, the trio insists that none of them are Christians. Hans is like, "I don't get paid enough for this ish. I'm not putting my life in danger anymore." Enter Finn, the head of the Norwegian Wildlife Board. He tells the group that he actually works for the Troll Security Service, or TSS. and that the Norwegian government doesn't want the world to know about the creature's existence, so they form the TSS to solve any troll-related problems. Hans is an official troll hunter who's been assigned to kill trolls who come too close to humans. And they made up the whole bear attack thing so people don't find out about the trolls. So Hans tells the students that the trolls have gotten more aggressive in recent weeks, and the TSS wants to find out why. That's why they called him last night to ask for a sample of troll blood. But in all the running and trying not to die, Hans was unable to get any. So he'd like to go hunting again today. Finn notices that the students are filming everything and is like, "What part of secret do you not understand? Give me your footage." They're like, "Whatever, we'll just get more." So they go to a different location that night to hunt the creature. When they get there, Hans baits the trolls with a sheep. Okay, I gotta stop for a second. I've said troll or trolls like 111 times already, and I've not made a single joke about social media. But then they throw literal sheep at me. Sometimes it's hard to keep my thoughts to myself. Okay, I'm good. Back to the movie. Anyway, the plan with the sheep works, and after a while, a different type of troll appears and begins devouring the sheep. Hans puts on a metal suit and gets a syringe. He approaches the creature in an attempt to get blood samples and is successful. But the troll isn't exactly happy about it, so it attacks Hans and easily overpowers him, but it can't chew through the metallic suit. Hans plays dead and the troll leaves. The trio approaches Hans and helps him up. Hans is all, "Get that troll," and kills him by flashing his light. The next day, they take the blood samples to the lab to be tested and learn that the results will be available in a few days. The group then departs for another mission together. They notice several fallen trees and assume it's the work of a troll. Plot twist, it's actually a bear. I'm just getting confirmation that it was not a bear. So they follow in the footsteps of the troll and arrive at an abandoned mine where a family of trolls traps them. They're terrified, particularly cameraman Kale, who says, "Oh, by the way, I'm actually a Christian. Is now a good time to mention it?" So the trolls catch a whiff of Kale and attack the group, which uses the UV lights to escape the mine, except for Kale, who's dragged inside by the creatures. Thomas and Johanna sit on the ground, unable to process their friend's death. They take his broken camera and return to Hans's trailer. Then they're like, "Let's try again, but with a Muslim cameraman." And Finn gives them a new mission to kill the most dangerous troll of all, Jotnar, who stands at least 50 to 100 meters tall. Hans knows that this troll will be the most difficult to kill, so he gets all the sharp, pointy things for his van. The group travels to the mountains in search of the troll. They get a call from the lab and find out that the trolls have rabies, and that's why they're acting out. And they recall that Thomas being bitten when he was first encountered by the troll, and they're concerned that he, too, might be infected with troll rabies. Thomas is like, "I'll get tested when we get back." And just then, they notice Jotnar approaching their van. Unfortunately, the mounted lights on the van stop working, and Hans decides to draw the troll's attention by singing a Christian hymn. Bold strategy works, and they drive away. Hans eventually manages to repair the lights, and they drive right under the troll's leg, and eventually manage to flash the lights at it. The group is relieved when the troll turns to stone and crumbles to the ground. Thomas keeps the hard drive containing the documentary footage with him, but Finn and his men arrive and attempt to steal the camera and hard drive from them. Thomas bolts with the camera and hard drive. After a while, he comes to a road and notices a truck driving towards him. As the screen goes black, the scene's cut. According to an epilogue, no one has ever heard from the students since the incident, which sounds pretty Blair Witch to me. But we can assume that someone from the truck stole the footage from Thomas and leaked it to the press. Norway's prime minister had to admit to the existence of trolls during a press conference, and now the whole world knows about trolls. And cut. So that was our recap of Troll Hunter in our own unique style. If you want more recaps like this, let us know. For some reason, I want to do Blair Witch now. But if you want something else, maybe we'll do that instead. But only if you subscribe and comment. For Recapaholic, this is Scott Leffler. See you soon.